So I was looking at a coin on my desk, and I started wondering what would happen if it suddenly became a black hole. Would it swallow my house instantly, or could I run away? Well, black holes are insanely dense, so a black hole the size of a coin wouldn't weigh a few grams. It would weigh exactly as much as the entire planet Earth. You'd have the mass of an entire world sitting on your desk, packed into a tiny circle. And the gravity right next to it would be 1,000,000,000 times stronger than normal. So you wouldn't even have time to blink. You and your room would be instantly destroyed, ripped apart into a stream of atoms. Physicists call this spaghettification. Gravity pulls so hard on the parts of you closest to the coin that you stretch out like a long, thin noodle of human spaghetti. But the scary part is, the black hole wouldn't just sit there eating your desk. Because it weighs as much as the Earth, the two bodies would immediately start pulling on each other. You have two objects of the exact same mass interacting. So physics takes over. To you, it looks like the black hole falls through the floor, but in reality, the Earth is falling toward the black hole just as fast. It slices through the ground like a microscopic needle, pushing through a ball of butter, destroying rock, and sucking in a tiny tube of matter as it travels down, falling towards the center of the planet. It starts moving insanely fast, leaving a microscopic trail of absolute devastation in its wake. You might think it would just stop at the center of the Earth, but it has way too much momentum for that. It shoots right past the core, flying all the way to the opposite side of the planet, popping out somewhere in the ocean or someone else's living room. But it doesn't fly into space. Earth's gravity pulls it back down, so it plunges backward into the crust, swinging toward the core like a pendulum, back and forth through the center of our doomed planet. Each time it passes through, it eats a little more of the inside of the Earth, getting heavier, which makes its gravity even stronger for the next pass. Meanwhile, on the surface, things are completely insane. The gravity keeps shifting, causing massive global earthquakes that level every city on the planet. The crust buckles and folds like a cheap carpet being pushed together. Volcanoes erupt everywhere at once because the mantle is being scrambled like an egg. If you somehow survive the gravity waves, the surface would be totally uninhabitable. This pendulum of destruction keeps swinging back and forth for hours, losing speed on every pass because it's eating more mass, until it finally settles right in the dead center of the Earth's core. And once it stops moving, that is when the real nightmare begins. Sitting in the center, the black hole starts steadily feeding on the molten iron, eating the planet from the inside out like a cosmic parasite. The entire surface of the planet falls downward. Oceans, mountains, and continents, crumbling, falling into a spiraling drain of superheated rock, orbiting a point of infinite density. The friction of all this crashing matter heats up to millions of degrees, turning the remnants of our world into a blazing disk of glowing plasma. Physicists call this an accretion disk, outshining the sun for a brief moment, a glowing beacon of our destruction, shining out into the vast emptiness of the galaxy. And then, eventually, it would all be swallowed completely by the tiny monster, leaving nothing behind except a black hole roughly the size of a golf ball, just sitting there in the cold void, exactly where Earth used to be. But wait, what about the moon? Does it get sucked in too? Well, actually no, because the new black hole has the same mass as the original Earth. Its gravitational pull from a distance is exactly the same as Earth's was. So the moon would just keep orbiting this invisible point completely undisturbed, like a loyal dog walking in circles around a master that isn't there anymore. And the rest of the solar system wouldn't even notice we were gone. The planets keep spinning around the sun, the universe keeps expanding, completely indifferent. And honestly, that is the part that breaks my brain the most. Not the infinite gravity or the fiery collapse of the planet, but the fact that a tiny coin-sized hole could erase our entire history. Every song ever written, every person you ever loved, compressed into a single dot. And the universe would just shrug and move on without us. Anyway, this is Stick Sai, and I'll see you in the next one.